You cannot build a successful delivery business without your own drivers. Welcome to Digital Hospitality. I'm your host, Sean Walchef. This is a Cali BBQ Media production. This is inside one of our coaching calls with Moen Islam, the CEO and co-founder of Shipday. We interviewed Mario O'Brien, who works with Zeeks Pizza, 25 locations in the Pacific Northwest. They do serious volume in the pizza space, and they leverage technology to help them get more pizza to more customers. We hope you enjoy this episode. Give us the pizza origin story.
Oh man. Well, Zeeks Pizza, we make Pacific Northwest pizza. Our company was started 30 years ago by two dudes who got sick of working for the man and felt like there wasn't good enough pizza in a ski town. And they are Tom and Doug are lifelong powder skiers and windsurfers, and they wanted to spend more time doing what they love, which is skiing and surfing. And they backed into a job in pizza, and here we are 30 years later with 25 restaurants.
Wow.
And just we've evolved into more of a franchising model. We got 19 franchises, 6 corporate stores, and our big challenge right now is just like probably a lot of the pizza industries. We're just trying to still come out of COVID and get right with the new world where everybody delivers. Coming from a world where pizza delivery was the only food that the average consumer gets delivered. So I think that's what brings me here. That's why we were so excited to work with Moen and Shipday, because we found that we had gone so deep into the weeds with our old POS provider, that with all of our delivery metrics, and then COVID just forced us into the new world of technology. So we switched to Toast, and Toast is shitty at delivery metrics. And so now we're just picking and choosing all the shit that Toast is bad at.
Yep.
And attaching it to Toast. So
awesome.
That's where Shipday comes in. That's where a lot of the stuff we do comes in.
How long have you guys been with Shipday?
That's the pitch. Been with Shipday, I think we're at a year and a half now.
Yeah, year and a half. Yeah.
And all stores are using Shipday, or did you start with one store? How did you guys roll it out? How did you roll out Shipday?
All but 2 are on it now, and we're trying to get those 2 on it, but they're resisting. It really just started with one. I mean, all of our standard rollout of how we roll out anything is we pilot at one store, see if it works for the operator, see if we can get the operator stoked about it, and then we end up letting the operator evangelize for us, because ultimately, that's the only way. It sucks. All the franchisees aren't bought into Corp telling them what to do. But when another store says that something is working and it's making their operation better and they're happy and they're making more money, that's the way it catches fire. So that's what happened here too.
Do you remember which store was the first?
I think our
Dravis was the first one.
Yeah, Dravis.
Yeah.
Dravis was our first location.
That's our first location. Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened at the Dravis store? Do you remember, Moen, or?
No, I think that was the Zeeks first store too. I mean, I don't think that the store may be closing now where it has recently, but that was their first location. I think that was the pilot location for everything, I guess.
I can tell you that was what got us in the door with Shipday. But I'll tell you that the things have taken off with our Capitol Hill location.
Okay. What's going on there?
That operator just really has a nose for good customer experience, and was really tuned in with the big shift away from in-house delivery towards third party. And all we had about metrics of how it was going was the number of customer complaints that we got when we were sending out a pizza with someone that wasn't our own drivers. And all the franchisees at that time, and everyone was saying, oh, the cost of our in-house delivery is too high. It's so cool. You can just outsource it to third party. I don't have to manage my driver fleet. And this specific operator he just knew that ultimately was not the long-term play, and that ultimately it was going to piss customers off. And sure enough, a year into going mostly third party, he saw his, delivery transactions just go down, like year over year. And it was bad enough that he just took the plunge, and he was like, you know what, the only way I can build this delivery business back is if I get in-house delivery back. And the reason that Shipday changed the game was because they allow for a hybrid delivery model. So, what we refer to as hybrid is, you want to do third party for this shift? Great. You got a big catering order that you don't want to mess up and you want your person to hand it off? Great. In-house. You got a big heavy shift on a Friday night when most of your loyal customers are going to order? Great. Let's do that one with in-house. Don't have enough drivers on this shift? Oh, just need this one to go off the third party? Great. Shipday can do that. So the key was that, this franchisee and all franchisees had already moved away from in-house delivery, and now we're living the life of luxury of not having to hire drivers, not having to manage a driver staff. They'd cut their insurance, and they were like, how can I go from zero back to a full driver staff?
Yeah.
And with Shipday, it allowed us to say, you don't have to build back a whole driver staff. Just get one driver. Just get one driver for your busy shifts and deliver as many in-house as you can on that shift. Then once you got one driver, hire another driver and gradually start scaling your way towards, increasing the percentage that you're taking in-house. And sure enough, the delivery transactions just went up over time. The customer experience got better.
That's amazing.
That's what really moved the needle at Cap Hill, which has now been that's the success story that we're telling people about. And
how do you guys roll out success stories as an organization?
I mean, we have, I'd say the main, we have a very strong tribal get beers culture.
It obviously works.
It really is. So like, the most quote unquote formal way is, when we host our franchise meetings, we do them every 6 months, I think at this point, sometimes more often.
Yeah. And
we just give them the mic and say, hey, tell us about your experience with Shipday. And then they talk about it. And, that's what sells people. And then a week later, everyone's following up with us after the meeting saying, hey, how do I get on Shipday?
Yep.
Yeah. How about y'all? Are y'all using it, or what's your story?
We have barbecue restaurants in San Diego. Yep. We're not currently using Shipday because my stack, I spend a majority of my time doing media content.
Yeah.
my team is at their. We're at full throttle. We just opened up a Navy location, so there isn't delivery. Actually, Shipday is probably something that might work on the Navy location since we can't use DoorDash or Uber Eats at that location. But we literally, today's day 23. So we soft opened on the 1st, grand opening on the 16th. So we are working our way through it's a QSR model for us. So that's what we're rolling out.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Sounds like a challenge.
Everything's a challenge. That's why we do media.
Yeah. Yeah.
Restaurant business is a hard business. 16 years we've been doing it. You guys have been doing it much longer than us, but you've obviously figured out something if you've gotten to that scale.
We're getting there. How many units do y'all have?
Technically 2, but we have 2 stadium locations too. So we have our main commissary, brick and mortar, 5,700 square feet, full bar. That's where we built the business, but then we added smokers so that we could do, what we call slow food fast. Try to get more barbecue to more people throughout San Diego.
Sweet.
Mario and Sean, you guys need to visit each other. SoCal, you go up.
we talk about having a Zeeks in San Diego. We talk about Zeeks in San Diego all the time.
That would be awesome. Where are you guys? Where are you located?
We are. I live in Seattle.
Okay. Are all 25 stores in Washington, or?
They're all. I mean, we got one in Boise. We got one in Boise and one in Spokane, but the rest of the 23 are within 50 to 80 miles of each other.
Amazing.
Yeah, on the greater Seattle area, basically.
How big is the footprint? How big is the Zeeks? Like typically store or the ranges?
And I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you.
Pretty big.
How many seats? How many seats?
Yeah.
You guys
Our biggest,
you order at a counter, you got like
our biggest one seats like 100,
Okay.
and but they scale all the way down to like just takeout counters and people that don't call it like a delivery shack where there's no dine-in.
Okay.
So, but the ones
Once they have 100, do they have like a beer and wine also?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. So we do. We are trying to be. We feel like we are analogs of like the craft beer industry. So, we feel like the same people that love to go to breweries are the same people that love to eat Zeeks.
Yeah.
So that's our scene. We have Zeeks exclusive partnerships with breweries, and we have local breweries that make Zeeks exclusive beer.
Sweet. And then the Zeeks breweries, are those pop-up locations or delivery like how do you guys do that?
I'm sorry, okay, so
like when you
have
partner
Zeeks
with a brewery,
breweries. We have Zeeks restaurants, some of which have a full bar,
got it.
some don't.
Got it.
And then the breweries are just partnerships to make and brew beer together, and then we sell it.
Okay, cool. I like that.
Yeah.
It's a huge selection. I've been to a few stores, and Mario, you guys do a great job in the selection process. It's awesome. Stores location. I think I've been to Capitol Hill. I have been to the downtown location. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. It's wonderful. Like really, what Mario was saying is a great place to gather with friends. It's awesome. We love it. And then Mario, one of the things that we're working with Mario is like, we learn a lot, to be honest, on tests, like what operators like, more sophisticated operators care about delivery. And we have worked together on a lot of things and reports and things like that. Mario could talk about. At the end of the day, it's really kind of our goal is to how do you give this insights back to the merchants and the operators so that they can make the right decision. So to your point, like you don't need, like, do you have a driver? Should you have a driver? Should you have two drivers or not? Should you have all third party? A goal is to really bring all the options on the fulfillment side so that you can choose. And again, the answer is going to be different for different locations based on where they are, what the third party drivers they get access to, how far the customer base is, order volume. So that's, I think that's really, to me, that's more empowering that once you have an option, there's no because oftentimes it's kind of scary to think about, I have no drivers, all using third party, and I have to now do the whole thing now, like hire 5 drivers. I don't know even it's 5 or 3, get the insurance back. It just sounds so big of a leap, essentially, right? So the question is like, what if you don't have to make a leap? What if it's like, even you hire a driver and then say, oh, it's not good, I'll go all third party. Okay, fine, we go back to all third parties, right? There's no either or choice. It's really a seamless continuum. You can be at anywhere. And I think that's really I feel like that's really playing well in the pizza industry because, everybody went to third party. Now everybody can realize, oh, how do we have the best customer experience? I want to have some control back. And somewhere in the middle is the right position for everybody, but it just is different for everybody. So I think it's great, and Mario has a lot of insights about this evolution that has seen it all like third party to first party to the third party, and then kind of backtrack a bit. Yeah.
Mario, what's your title at Zeeks?
I'm the director of
everything.
technology.
You're the what?
Director of technology.
Director of technology. When did you become director of technology?
2.5 years ago.
What were you before you were director of technology?
I was like, I don't know. So my evolution is I was hired as the job I applied to was called instructional designer because I got a background in teaching and video production and content creation.
Sweet.
And they said, hey, come in and make us videos on how to teach our people to make pizza. And I got in there, and 5 months after that, I was like, you guys need way different stuff than these videos. Like, you need this other stuff. So I did that for 1.5 years. Then COVID hit. And we all got in a room and we're like, holy shit, how are we going to make this happen? And so, we all kind of just like roles started to overlap a bunch. And what we ended up doing a big restructure, pulled out the technology as a business unit from the rest of the franchising company, the corporate stores, the operations of the stores, commissary. So I got put in charge of the tech stuff, and I also have a big role in so the training stuff. I don't do in-person training. I still have a big role in our like documentation processing and
Yep.
curriculum instruction. I manage our knowledge base, but yeah, primarily I manage our tech stuff.
What do you look for in a technology partner?
The ability
Owen's not here.
The ability to like be
Even the
nimble
hard truth.
and the ability to be nimble and like work with us. Like we've learned that like we're unicorns. We ask for weird shit that isn't available out of the box. And so like the big thing we look for is, honestly, Shipday is a great example of someone who actually has evolved their business and what they do and the services they provide, the reports they create, based on what we ask for, which is like really important and possible with a company that's honestly as small as Shipday. Like we're not moving the needle with Toast. Like we're just not, So that's why Shipday specifically has been really, really important to us. So the customers, the UI, the customer experience is like obviously number one, but then you very quickly get to like, how can you evolve to what we need? Because we know you're not going to offer everything that we want out of the box.
Hey everyone, Avi Gorin, CEO and co-founder of Marquee, and I want to talk about the customer journey for a second. You never know as a restaurant owner where your guests are truly coming from. End of the day, we do see some patterns around two types of search behaviors: direct versus discovery. Direct search, for an example, would be jumping into Google and saying Cali barbecue hours, right? I know where I want to go to eat, but I'm missing a key detail. I need a little bit more information. Discovery, which is the bulk of searches, is barbecue in San Diego, restaurants near me, takeout near me, right? One of the best ways to be found for more discovery searches is leveraging keywords. Reviews are basically free content for you to leverage. Think about keywords that are relevant to your brand, your location, and include as many of those in your review responses as possible, right? How can you go about doing this? Let's set up reports, utilize tools like Google Trends, find out what's going on in your area and how you can help leverage these keywords and review responses, because someone else is doing that, right? If you need some examples, you could do anything from including summer menu, gluten-free menu, leverage specific menu items like the dreaded and beloved spice pumpkin anything in your review responses, right? Let them know what's coming. Let your reviewers know something they should come back and try. And of course, if all of this just seems overwhelming and daunting because you're already running a restaurant and have enough on your plate, just leverage the team at Marquee to do this for you. We handle all of this. We're experts in this space. We can automate this so it's just another item that you are taken care of. Again, that's marquee.com, marquii.com. No U. However, we did recently buy marquii.com. So if you do misspell it, we got you. You'll still find us. We can still help you.
The results are in. National Restaurant Association show. Kyle and Sarah and myself, we were at the Davos sales tax booth and we were polling restaurant owners on the floor. This was a very unscientific poll, but the results are resounding. Restaurant owners do not like sales tax. Nobody likes sales tax. Doesn't matter what business owner you are, small business, big business. Davo automates the sales tax process. We are so grateful that Davo is the sponsor of this show. They automate sales tax at our Cali barbecue restaurants. It is $50 a month. It integrates with all the major point of sale partners, including Toast. So if you want to sleep at night, if you want to not worry about sales tax, go to Davo, check them out. Davo Sales Tax. Let us know how they're helping automate your sales tax in your restaurant so that we can share your Davo story on Digital Hospitality.
Okay, so what you're looking at is what Shipday refers to as a performance report.
Yeah.
And so you're looking at last week, the performance of the deliveries that took place that were what we call ASAP deliveries. So they were not timed orders. It was like someone going onto their phone, like, I want a pizza now, order it, like those ones. We pull out the timed orders because because it makes sense. So none of this reporting really existed for us. So, but in here, baked into just this one report, has so many of the key operational insights that are important to us, that we know are important to our customers, that we can take action on and have meaningful conversations with our crew about. So a good example of something that's customer facing is this one called promise time. So promise time is, we refer to it as quote times, but we've been in the industry long enough that we know if we are keeping our quote times below 40 minutes, we are getting all the business we can handle. And as soon as our quote times go above 40, we're throttling our own business. So without this, we can't even tell how we're doing. So this allows us to go have a conversation about Tuesday with whoever was running the kitchen and run the staff and say, hey, on Tuesday, we were above 40. Like, what was going on that Tuesday? Like, why, what was going on in store? Were we short drivers? Was it a staffing thing? So that's a meaningful, actionable conversation you can have with staff. So that's one example. Also, it's an example of how the operations meets the customer, So that's that one. This one right here, this average placement time to pickup time. So that's the time from when the order was placed to when the driver walked out the door with the pizza. So in other words, that's a proxy for how fast our kitchens are. So we know that a fast Zeeks kitchen can get pizzas out the door in 20 minutes or less. That's like our standard. And so this is now a good way to start a conversation about like, hey, how can we get it below 20?
Yep.
Why were we at 22 on Saturday and 32 on Sunday? So that's an example of, these are all natural metrics that get created within Shipday because it's all, it's metrics created by the driver touching something. So that the order first gets triggered when it's placed. Then when the driver taps a button on their driver app that they're accepting the order, that's one thing. And then when the driver leaves the store, that's another thing. And then when the driver drops it off, all those translate to creating these metrics. So
we were still working on a few things here. Like, Maria and I talked last week that, we're probably like percentage in-house. You also know, hey, how are you doing compared to in-house and third party? So, and also there's a few things that, that graphs, Mario has a good suggestion for it, just to see now how many deliveries were like 5 minutes early or 5 minutes late. What does that looks like? Like, is it, because normally we do like on time. So on time is a very cracked threshold. Like the promise was 30, you were 31, you are late, right? You're not on time. But 31 is probably on time. So we can also understand, okay, well, if you're not on time, what does the distribution look like for us? So we can also do those things. So that gives a pretty good insight about how things are run.
Yeah. And the other thing that Moin just spun up for us recently was this driver report. And so, this takes specifically, if you look at this one line about Uber, so all of these other drivers, except for the one that says Uber, are real human beings.
Yep.
And
there's a pool of human beings there.
Yeah. So a couple things that stick out to me about this. The first is that the percentage of, excuse me, percentage of on time,
Wow. 43%.
43, and you just look at all the majority of the rest of them,
Yeah.
much higher.
Everything's above
And
Uber.
then you look at the ratings as well. So the ratings are
Wow.
a ship day function as well. So it's, you get a little thing 30 minutes after your text that says, how was your experience? And, it's 5 stars. And you can see that, by far the lowest average is the ones that are delivered by Uber. So
That tells you everything you need to
this
know.
is sort of like,
Yeah.
do you want to fucking know that third party is worse than in-house? Here's a report. It's not just me telling you that a customer complained. It's like, here it is.
Here it is. 4.14 is the average Uber order for 60 completed deliveries. Yet Hayden, who's a driver, at 175. So Hayden is a beast.
Yep.
Oh yeah, here's
Hayden's amazing. Look at those stats.
Yeah.
Those Hall of Fame stats.
Yep. He's crushing.
Again, right? Part of this is also to I think Mario was talking about, like, you want to manage it, like, oftentimes, and I learned this, and when you talk, that managing delivery comes down to managing people in many ways. And if they're not kind of managed through any kind of metrics, it's hard to kind of, I think you're doing a good job. Versus, no, you are actually doing a great job. Yeah. So these insights, Sean, is I think where, just to talk to you about the toast. And actually I was listening to Aman interview and another podcast that they also realize that for certain segments these are very important. If
Sure.
you're a pizza delivery business, you kind of need this.
Yeah.
But that's not for everybody. Like for you, maybe, I don't know, this is not that delivery heavy business, or you're not doing through first party yet. But if somebody's trying to do first party, they kind of need to know these things in order for them to be able to do a good job at it. And that's what we kind of plug in terms of our capability with partners like Toast or somebody else.
That's a great report. Thank you for sharing that, or both of them, Mario.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you, Moin, for working with us. I mean, if you look, like, the report literally did not exist a year ago. It was like, hey, first thing we just need to see this stuff, on time percentage, days of the week, split it up. Okay, great. Okay, now we want percentage on time. We want out the door time compared to total delivery time. We want to see promise time. So it's like step by step, this thing. And just last week, I mean, in our recent meeting, am I at the point like, okay, how can I get this automatically just sent to my inbox every Monday?
Yeah.
It just wasn't ready yet. It just wasn't.
When you build a report that's that powerful, that's exactly what you want. Where it's like, I want less reports, but I want impactful reports that I can actually do something with on a week over week basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really kind of our we work with a lot of operators, and Mario, you showed that driver performance report is one of the other brands we started working in. So I think really one is obviously just the coordination of this dispatch, live tracking, but at the same time we're gathering all the data that is really, really powerful in terms of giving you the operational insights of what is working in my business, what's not, who's working out or who's not working out in terms of managing people on the driver's side. Because oftentimes you talk to anybody who manages in-house drivers and they're like, I don't know how effective they are. If they're like, you have a sense that seems to be doing a good job once they're in the store, but when they're going outside the store, they're doing a good job at the customer location, things like that. You don't know really. So we try to gather this data in a comprehensive way so that you have a pretty good idea of how things are running. And obviously, running is the first priority, dispatch, tracking, all kind of thing. But I think the reports, as things go, because those become very table stake, but really the reports are the ones that helps from the business standpoint.
How are the multi-store functionality for looking store over store?
So we have like enterprise report now that Mario have access to, and we're kind of building on that. So you can also compare how things are running on a very high level. You don't go very deep level. You just look at the high level statistics, but within that, you can kind of drill into any particular store that you want to get into that, hey, something doesn't look right here. So, but that's something evolving for us too, the enterprise dashboard that for multi-locations, you want to make sure that someone has a bigger insight and you can have options to drill down as deep you want to go.
Mario, what advice would you have for any pizza operator that's looking for a solution for building back their first-party delivery?
Yeah, if you want to build back your first-party delivery, you got to give every customer a good experience. You got to have your own driver showing up, building that relationship. You got to control every ounce of your experience that you can, from food quality to the person that they're interacting with. And so start by bringing your own drivers back. You can't build a successful delivery business without it.
The long-term impact on customer happiness and thereby the business, right? It is something you don't see immediately. You just see the cost saving immediately, but once you start looking at the trend, it's like, oh, there's something wrong here. It's supposed to go up, it's not, and the customer's not very happy. And then that control part is very important. Like if you cannot control that experience with, at least no control. To us, like I always think that in-house and third party is a good to have the hybrid options, because there's a peaks and like a drip in the timing of the demand surge. So you might want to cover the base capacity with your in-house, and peaks you can always do third party. And if you look at I come from a logistics standpoint, and that's kind of my background. Like any logistics system has their captive capacity, what they call that they cover, and any peaks they go to the spot market to hire a truck to do something, right? Walmart would have their fleet, but they also hire other people's trucks, because they would not maintain a fleet that has like a peak capacity. They would do 70% or 60% in-house capacity that's always high utilized. And then the peaks are they're always gonna go to the spot market to get a capacity. But they know that if they had zero base capacity, it's very hard to do a good job in the whole logistics. That's really what I think translates here too.
One thing I forgot to mention, actually, that was like a big differentiator with Shipday was, we also just look at, when we're looking at tech stuff, we have our North Stars with other people and restaurants and organizations that are doing it, and we just look to them. So like when it comes to delivery, we look at DoorDash and Uber. We're like, what tech do they have? What is the customer experience that they're having? Well, what DoorDash and Uber have is when you order, you watch the pizza come to your house. You watch it come to your house. So that was the first thing we looked for. We didn't know that we suspected it would come with all the delivery operations and metrics.
Sure.
And it made sense to us that it ended up being the same thing. But it really all started, with all of our tech decisions, it's all just started with what's the state-of-the-art customer experience, and we just need to match that. So when it comes to delivery stuff, I'm looking at DoorDash. When it comes to designing our app, I'm looking at like, okay, what is Starbucks doing? What is Jimmy John's doing? What is Domino's doing? And like we just steal shit. You know what I mean? Like we don't have the money that those guys have, so let's just take their ideas and at minimum start doing what they're doing, copy it, put the Zeeks spin on it, and the Zeeks spin on it is the interaction with Zeeks employees and Zeeks product. But the tech is all the same. The tech is becoming the same at all restaurants. So you might as well just copy and then differentiate with your product and your employees.
I think the part of this is happening is, we forget that how, with Uber and obviously DoorDash right now, the ride-hailing service and everything else, like it has become a customer expectation that is like, it's not like, oh, I have a delivery, where is the driver? Like you just don't even think that is an add-on feature. It's just like, you just expect that thing to be there right now, right? And I think with all Uber, we got all trained. Uber is in 80 countries now. By the way, we work with a lot of countries in different places. Same expectations, right? KFC guys in Latin America we're working with, they just also want the same thing, because guess what? Like everybody is used to that. Everybody uses Google Maps to go from A to B. And so these are becoming like a global tech standard, essentially, that is not even in a country basis. So everybody wants that. So when you look at the customer standpoint, what Mario is saying is getting everything standardized. Everybody knows what they're supposed to get in a way.
The reason why our show is called Digital Hospitality is Mario, you said it exactly. That's the world we live in. We have expectations, and the best part is that we don't have to pay for it. We can find amazing tech partners like you that have humans that will listen to operators and say, we need help, build what we need so that we can run a better business, so we can grow our business and you can grow yours. That's the world we live in. And if you can't communicate, when did you order the pizza? When is the pizza coming? Is it hot? Is it late? Did you enjoy it? Like, these are just digital touch points of what we call hospitality. In real life, if someone comes to Zeeks, I guarantee you that they didn't build that business by ignoring people, by not smiling when you come to order a pizza, by not saying thank you. Like that's a place that you want to go in, and you learn who's there. They learn who you are, and it's the same thing when you bring something to someone's house. For sure.
Consumer expectations, for sure.
This is awesome. No, I appreciate you going into that depth and that analysis. It's extremely helpful for, obviously for Shipday, but for us too, because we interact with so many people that are trying to do delivery. They know they need to do it, but they need to do it their own way, right? Just because it's outside of the four walls, we can't just give up the keys to the kingdom and say, go ahead, Uber and DoorDash and Amazon and whoever, go ahead and deliver our product, and let's hope and pray that they're going to bring a great pizza or a great barbecue. You can't hope and pray.
They're gangsters. They're trying to take over the world. They're pushing everyone around, and people are going out of business. They're doing well, but in the end, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yep.